Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace, everybody. Can you hear me? Alrighty, I'm here. Peace, everybody. It's your brother, Mr. Holipsism. Hopefully, I'll have some company, but for right now, I'm by myself. The title of this live stream is Star Wars and MCU fans are the worst. I know this is a little this is not something I talk about all the time, but my people that we have these conversations, they know where this is coming from. But I say the Star Wars and MCU fans, and I have fans in quotes, can't even sit back and enjoy a blowjob, let alone a movie or a TV series. This live stream will be a reality check for Star Wars, MCU fanboys and girls and gamers as well, because you guys are pissing me off with The Last of Us series 2. I want to give this from the perspective of somebody who would be considered old school, been around for a while, used to collect comics. So not really a DC person, more familiar with Marvel. Not really a Star Wars person. It's not that I dislike Star Wars. I just wasn't into it, but I did enjoy. Like if Star Wars movie would come out, I would see it. But that's about to the extent of my Star Wars knowledge. I wasn't really a Star Wars fan per se, but I did enjoy the movies. So MCU fans, or not MCU, but Marvel fans who collected comics can tell you that Marvel was way ahead of its time in terms of its concepts, in terms of its characters, its stories. And what we always wanted was to see those Marvel characters on the big screen. This was a big thing for us. Now, Kevin Feige, who if I were to meet him, I would personally thank him because I'm grateful for what he was able to do. If somebody had told me that we would have been able to see Infinity War on the big screen, I would have laughed at him. I'm like, there's no way that that's going to happen. Yet, when Feige and Marvel came into, I don't know at what point Disney took over Marvel. I don't know whether it was when Marvel first came or a little bit after. I'm not sure. But I'll just say, when Feige, I'll judge it by the Feige era. When Feige took over and they started the whole thing with Iron Man, all leading up to Infinity War and Endgame. And I said this before on a TikTok video, and I think I've said it on a previous video. That 10-year run was very unusual for Hollywood. It was unprecedented. Most studios would kill to have a $1 billion franchise. You know, they have the James Bond, they have, the Mission Impossible, they have whatever franchise that you can think of. They would kill to have that. $1 billion franchise. Most movie studios would kill to have $1 billion movie. To put this in perspective, I was listening to people talk about. I won't even get into the first 10 years. Let's talk about after Infinity War and Endgame. And there's certain guys who are basically into rage bait type videos where they trying to claim that the MCU is dead and every MCU movie that comes out is a flop and is woke and is they calling it the MCU because they're actually having some female characters in there. They're making fun of Black Panther because they feel that's unfair and why can't there be a white Panther? All this bullshit. And they said that the last three movies that's come out have been flops. What was it? Three movies or two? Well, I'll say um, Captain America, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. Yeah, Thunderbolts, and it was something else, right? Well, they used those two, and they saying that the Fantastic Four movie is going to be a flop. This is what they're saying. I did a little. Let me see if I can bring this up. Let's see. Captain America, Brave New World, box office. Now this is a flop. This is what I'm hearing. This is a flop. This flop made over $400 million worldwide. Flop. Let's look at Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts box office. Thunderbolts box office. Let's see. This is what they call a disappointing box office. Yeah, 371 million. That's a flop. So it's probably going to end up around $400 million. They said that was it Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was a flop. That movie made over $1 billion. The whole point of me pointing this out, there's a lot of money to be made because the right wing has taken over the culture war. So there's a lot of money to be made in rage bait content or anti woke content. To me, it's getting kind of played out and it's getting corny, but apparently people still are into that. So every time a Marvel movie comes out, because Marvel, a lot of people don't know this, that Disney is the one who is behind Marvel. That's the boss of Marvel. That's the people that run Marvel. That's the people that own Marvel. So everything that about Disney, people hate Disney and they just Marvel gets guilt by association, I guess. But what people don't realize is that that's a 10-year run that Marvel had under Feige was the most successful 10-year run in the history of Hollywood. Let me repeat that again. And why am I by myself? This really pisses me off for me. All right, we'll talk about that later. Let me just get this out. Anyway, peace, Mo Movements Fitness. I lost my train of thought because let me go back. Yeah, it's the most successful 10-year run in the history of Hollywood. Marvel was cranking out billion-dollar franchises like it was on a factory line. That's unheard of. Unheard of. And a bad Marvel film makes about $400 million. A bad Marvel film makes about $400 million. A one that is not successful. How many studios, Hollywood studios, would love to have a $400 million flop? What it is that people have become spoiled and they become brats and they become entitled. And they think that every movie that comes out is supposed to be a hit. And that's not how Hollywood works. I asked somebody before, tell me how many flops has Warner Brothers had film wise? Nobody ever says Warner Brothers is dead. How many flops has United Artists had? How many bad films have they made? Nobody says United Artists is dead. All of these studios would love to have these failures that people are trying to say that Marvel has. Marvel is hitting at a 90% success ratio with their films. That's unheard of. They actually need more flops. They actually need more failures. So that way they'd be compatible with the other movie companies. That's the reason why everybody's mad at Marvel. That's the reason why everybody hates on Marvel. Because, oh, they don't like superhero films. Why? Because they're making money. They're hugely successful. Like I said, a movie that's considered a flop is making 400 million. A flop. So a middling movie is making about 700 to 800 million. Middling. Average. Yo, what's up, Ronan? Peace. But yeah. Oh, Jamoja, what's up? Are you there? Can you talk?
I am here, big brother. Have you mentioned that everybody is spoiled yet?
Yeah. They're entitled. They're spoiled. You know, they are so used to success that if Marvel, it's like if you scoring 10 all the time and one game you score 9, oh shit, you falling off, done.
Well, it's it's really like the corporate attitude for a fan, right? Like it has
Yeah.
to keep on getting better and better, more exciting, more explosions, and there's no room for any wackiness. Like I get it on one hand, but on the other hand, I also understand how you take away from the joy of just the entertainment of the film. Like I get how being a fan, if you want, like let's say you're a fan of a specific person in history, and you know pretty much all of their history because you're a personal fan. You read their biography, you like knew them when they were alive, and now somebody's doing a movie about them. So you like geeked excited, right? Like man, they doing a movie on Bruce Lee, or they doing a movie on you know what I mean? And then you go see the movie and you like, man, he didn't look like that. And all you doing is pointing out the inaccuracies, right? And you completely taking away from the joy of somebody using their creativity to recreate your favorite person, right? So I
Yeah.
get it, but I also get the flip side of like you're ruining your own
Well, let
experience.
me
Just
let
let this
me let me
experience be its
expand.
experience, right?
Let me expand on what you said because what you're saying
Please.
is totally accurate. But let me ask you a question and really think about it before you respond. Don't you have to wait till the blowjob is over before you critique it?
I don't have to think much, sir. Yeah. I get that too. That's a
You
good
know,
way to put it, right?
I'm
Hey,
gonna
hey,
tell you
I,
this.
give it some time. Give it some
I,
time, right? Give it some time to build up. Maybe they just getting warmed up.
Yeah, you know.
hey, I have a counter to that. You don't have to wait for the blowjobs to be done. If it's starting off with teeth and there's blood, it's pretty bad.
Touche, touche, brother Mike. Too effing shay.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that that takes you out of the experience. You know what I'm saying? But most movies are not like that bad. You know, especially when you're talking about Marvel. But the reason why I mentioned the whole blowjob thing is that my mentor, when it came to production, when we learned about production and filmmaking and all this stuff, his name was Walter Dunn. Shout out to Walter. He's still around. He hasn't passed away. He's still with us. But Walter said something that I've always carried with me. He says that when he watches a movie, his mindset is, do me. I'm going to sit back. I want you to do me. And meaning he's going to try to enjoy what you're giving him. He's trying to enjoy the experience. That's how he watches a movie when he first watches it. He doesn't critique the movie when he's watching it because it's like critiquing a blowjob while it's happening. It makes no sense. It's like critiquing sex while you're having it. How do you enjoy it without? You can't do that. You got to let it go and just experience it for what it is. Now you can critique it. Now, unless there's something that takes you wildly out of it, like what Mike said. Now that's understandable. You know, if you're having a blowjob and you've got scraping teeth and stuff like that, then that that's going to take you out of the experience. But I'm saying minus that. You know, if you're just watching a normal movie. You're not seeing any microphones hanging over people's head. Is really produced well, good production value. Watch it. Sit back, watch the movie, and try to enjoy the movie. Now, am I saying that you have to, like at the end, you're going to say every movie was good? Of course not. I know that there's movies that's not good. I've seen movies that's not good. You know, so I understand if people don't like something. I'm not telling people that you have to like Marvel films at all. What I'm saying is, I'm seeing people who pan the film before they even see it. There are people take on about, and I love this because people who say this, you can tell that they don't read comics. Oh, they're turning Reed Richards into a wimp, and Sue is really running things in the Fantastic Four. Well, guess what, morons? If you have read the source material, you know anything about the Fantastic Four. Sue Storm is the leader of the Fantastic Four. This is not new. This is not some feminist bullshit that they just made up. This is the source material, you idiots. I get so tired of people. This is guy who tried to decode the original Black Panther and never read the comic. So what the fuck you decoding? You don't know about the source material, but you're going to decode the film, which is based on the source. God. And I'm not even going to address Star Wars fans because I don't know enough about them. All I know is that they suck. And I know that they complain. And they have people who, if I was a major A-list actor, there's no way in hell I would be involved with a Star Wars franchise. No way. Because they're a bunch of spoiled brats. They don't appreciate anything. And I'll give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about outside of Star Wars. I've been watching the HBO series, HBO Max, I believe, The Last of Us, based on the video game.
I like that. I like that show. Sorry, I got excited.
I know nothing about the video game, so I'll just start with that. And I don't want to know anything about it. What's up, Joe?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, just mute yourself momentarily because I hear a lot of background. Yeah. So Last of Us, I know nothing about the game, nothing about it. So I watched it with fresh eyes. You got Pedro Pascal in the lead, who is an A-list actor. A-list actor. This guy is phenomenal. Then you got Bella Ramsey, who's from Game of Thrones. Now their big issue is Bella Ramsey's ugly. She doesn't look like the girl in the video. Another A-list actress. I just recently saw Last of Us episode. It's season 2, episode 6.
Oh, she's the one that played the Bolton girl, right, in Game of Thrones, in the last season. Okay, yeah. I remember now.
That episode was so good that it was like it inspired me to write. Like it got me. Like I had a script that I was working on, and I just left it to the side. After I watched that episode, it actually inspired me to start writing. It was like a master class in how to construct an episode. The acting was phenomenal. The story was phenomenal. Everything circled back was phenomenal. And these motherfuckers complain and bitch them. Oh, it's not like the game. I'm like, why don't you dudes get a hot rag and some baby oil and just jack off and play the game? Why are you watching live action movies and TV series when you can't enjoy the content? And they're producing A-list, top production, top acting, top actors, top storytelling, top writers, producing excellent content, but you can't even enjoy it because you want it to be exactly like the fucking game. Well, then play the game. Play the game. Like I said, get some hot rag and a baby oil and some hot rag, whatever, and just oil yourself up and jack off to the game. Problem solved. Let the rest of us who don't give a shit about the game watch the TV series and enjoy it. That's all we're saying. I'm just getting tired of the bitching and the moaning and the complaining. That's all I had to really say. Yeah, I want to see what y'all have to say about this. What are your thoughts? Anybody's a Star Wars fan? I would love to hear your thoughts on Star Wars fans.
I'm
Okay.
I'm a Star Wars fan, right? You're right about them. They a lot of them do suck, especially like they do suck, right? So I don't know how else to say it. Like it's like there's like a elements of racism to it too. Some of them, right? Others is like they have like
Sexism.
this thing, sexism. You're right. Elements of that is like elitism to it because they feel like they're it's like the biggest thing I think with them is gatekeeping. That's a main theme amongst whether like they're sexist, racist, or elitist. It's just that they want to gatekeep it and they want it all for themselves, right? Sometimes too, I feel this is like a holder for like nerds who felt like they were like ostracized from like general public and like in high school and middle school and whatnot. That's their niche and they want to stay within that niche, right? That's why they want to like keep it together because it's kind of like how like people when there's like a major fight that's getting a lot of publicity and people are just like talking whatever and you can just distinguish who's like a real boxing fan and knows like the science of it and the filthy casuals. A lot of that I could see why they have like that sort of sentiment, but sometimes it just gets more exaggerated than when it comes to like boxing and stuff. You get me?
I feel that, but then again, I'm looking at it from the perspective of a fan. I'll use this as an example. Godzilla. Godzilla is a real niche content. Not a lot of people are into it, but the people that are into it are very fanatical about it. Just recently, they had a Godzilla film that was so good.
-1.
Yeah, that was so good that it could have been nominated for Best Foreign Film. It won an Oscar for Best Special Effects, which I'm glad that it won an Oscar. But the movie was a work of art. I could literally, and it got a lot of people who never were into Godzilla.
Yeah, it got me.
What would I look like going, oh, you casual Godzilla fans just jumping on the bandwagon right now? No, you want the content to reach a broader audience. Because if you love it, you want other people to love it as well.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. So if somebody wants to, like, if somebody gets into Marvel films, that's a win for us. If somebody gets into Godzilla, that's a win. I don't understand this insular thing that they got going where, like, oh, you guys haven't played the game. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, the genuine fans who like are kind of like I would say are like they like you said they had that positive sentiment. They'll like route you to like a particular movie, right? Or they'll give you like a series of movies that you can enjoy that can be like a canon storyline where it can give you like one sequel after the other, just so you can appreciate the IP more. Like I've done that. Some people have done that for me, right? So that's there. That's pretty cool, right? Because you discuss it on a Discord, and like we even recommended you like some of the shows for like the Star Wars stuff. on like what to look for, like which characters to look out for. Even when they talk about like, for example, when they do like the blatant catering to like the big feminist crowd, right? And they just give you like a shitty character that's not fleshed out. People are genuinely upset about that, and that's true. And there's like for the original, because what I feel is like there's a lot of backroom shit that's going on with like in terms of like people, you know, corporate trying to like see what they can do to monopolize like IP, so that way Lucas doesn't get like X amount of money, so they can change it up, right? Kind of similar to what you saw with like TKO with wrestling, where they're letting people go who are like a glue to the organization just for the sake of profit. There's a lot of that going on too, right? But it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't help like when you got people who are kind of like bad actors and like arguing against like the mainstream fans who are just coming in good faith, like in bad faith. It kind of muddies the waters a little bit.
Yeah, I'll use Last of Us
Yeah,
as an example.
yeah.
The people who love that game and who love the fact that it's now being done live action should get down on their hands and knees and thank Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey for being involved in that project, because they're getting Emmy award winning actors. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, because I know how production works, and this is something that I want to talk about too, is casting. A lot of times people complain that the person being cast doesn't look exactly like the person. Now there are cases where I feel sometimes there's a disconnect if they really don't look like somebody. Like if, take for instance, if you're playing Muhammad Ali, um
Michael B.
and I
Jordan
look at you.
and
No,
Fantastic
no,
Four.
they had no. It was a movie. I think it was it? It might have been Godfather of Harlem. Yeah, they had this guy playing Muhammad Ali, and I just could not believe it because it's like he looked absolutely nothing like Muhammad Ali. I mean, you got to look close. You know,
Yeah.
you got to at least try to capture him physically to a certain degree.
Can't be Kevin Hart.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You got to have somebody that looks in the realm of the chick that plays Bella Ramsey doesn't look like the character in the game exactly, but to me, so what? First of all, it's a fucking fictional character. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's playing a real person. This is a fictional character, a made up video game character. The looks of the character is not really that relevant. They're both girls. They're both around the same age. That's all that really matters. They don't have to look exactly like each other. But this is the thing about casting. What people don't understand is not just casting somebody who looks like somebody. It's also casting somebody that can act, and it's also casting chemistry. You have to have the characters, the actors that you pick, do chemistry reads so that you can know whether they have chemistry with each other. And Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey have a lot of chemistry with each other. And that's why when they do these scenes hit home. You can't just get people who look like the character and who can't act and can't connect and can't emote correctly to do these scenes. There's 1,000 women that look like Wonder Woman. You could go to any fitness competition and find a Wonder Woman. Try finding somebody that can actually act, that looks good on screen, that commands the scene. It's a whole lot of factors other than just physical aesthetics to picking a character or an actress for that character.
Mm.
And I don't think a lot of people know that.
How about them dudes? You said they wanted their problem with the girl in The Last of Us or whatever is that she wasn't attractive enough or something.
Right.
And I'm just like, now looking her up, I know that she's a grown woman, but to me, she looks like a child. And for that reason, call me funny, But for that reason, I didn't care about her being attractive. It looked like a kid to me.
Right. And that's what she's supposed to be. She's a kid. So why are we judging her off of attractiveness when that's not even the point of the game? Like in the game, she's not sexualized.
Yeah, and she's not even that conventionally attractive in the game either. Like
Right. She's
you're in
average.
it's like a post-apocalyptic world where you just like scrounging around for food and supplies and stuff. So you're not gonna be looking like drop
See,
dead gorgeous and shit.
I can take critiques in good faith. I just feel like a lot of these critiques are not in good faith. And a lot of it is bitching and moaning. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were, let me ask you, Mike, you're a Star Wars fan. Why should an A-list actor get involved in Star Wars when where they're doxing people, threatening their lives, being toxic toward them, and it's like, why? Why would you waste your time?
I wouldn't, because if I'm doing promos for the film, I'll be cussing a lot of people out, so it's not gonna turn out very well.
And Bella Ramsey is doing an excellent. That's another thing. She's doing an excellent job. I can understand if she sucked. She's doing an excellent job. Like I said, watch episode 6 of the second season. Anybody that can watch that episode and say that that's not good TV is totally dishonest and disingenuous. I don't care what you feel about the game. Objectively, I don't care what you love the game, like the game, whatever. Objectively, it's good TV. It's good writing. It's good production value. It's good acting. You're getting all this high level content, and you're bitching and moaning and complaining about stupid shit. A lot of it, what I found out is that a lot of problems that people have with the television series is problems that they have with the game. Duh. If they're following the same trajectory as the game, and you got a problem with the trajectory of the game, then obviously you're gonna have a problem with the trajectory of the fucking series.
Yeah, I got bad news for you, because a lot of video game fans are probably just as obnoxious as the Star Wars fans.
Yes.
And
Last of Us
probably even worse.
Like, I love Infinity War in the comics, and I'm glad Joe is on. Joe, are you available? Can you talk?
Mm-hmm.
Infinity War in the comics was nothing like Infinity War in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
The motivations that Thanos had was nothing like the motivation that he had in the comics. Did we care?
Not one bit.
Nobody cared.
You know what?
When I saw, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As a matter of fact, real quick, the one thing that I did care about, like it has to.
Oh yeah, we won't get into that. That's our one. But even despite that, we still enjoyed the movie. But like you said it best, we hate it. Endgame and Infinity War, because of what they did with our character. But even though they shitted on our character, you can't front that those were two good movies.
Oh, I'm not even talking about that.
Oh, okay. What?
The thing that I'm talking about is the one thing that I needed to be right to happen that did happen in the comics was the thing that when I was in the theaters, at least, they were upset by it. Everybody else in the theater was upset. I was sitting there smiling at the very end when he wins.
Oh yeah,
he's supposed to win. I'm telling you, people in the theaters, they were like breaking down, like, what? That's how it's
not supposed to happen. And they didn't at the end. I loved it when they said, they usually say the Avengers will be back. They're like, Thanos will be back.
Yep.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like, you're never going to get. I don't actually want things to be exactly like the source material, because then what's the point of going to the movie if you're just going to do a blow by blow, panel for panel of the comic? I like the fact that it's a different story. I like the fact that I don't know what's going to happen. I like it. Like, I know I've read the original Walking Dead graphic novel, but I loved, at some point, I think I was a fan of the show up into the Negan entry, which was good, but everything after the Negan entry is like went off the rails. But they didn't follow it exactly like in the graphic novel, but they used the broad strokes. You know, the part when they were in the prison, they didn't do everything exactly like that, but they had the setting of the prison. The thing with the governor was way more brutal in the comics. I don't think they could have done that on TV. So that didn't disappoint me because I realized now there's certain things they're not going to do on TV. Because in the comic book, the governor actually essayed Michonne, and she delivered like one of the most classic lines ever after that went down. And she was way more brutal in the comics and way more stoic in the comics than the Michonne on the television series. Michonne on the television series is way too emotional compared to the Michonne in the graphic novel. The Michonne in the graphic novel is the equivalent of the Daryl character because she was Rick's right hand man in the comic. Daryl is not even in the comic. He was created on the TV show, and people liked that actor, so they got
I didn't know
attached to
that.
him. Yeah, Daryl is not even in the comic, but he's a combination of Michonne and the character that they killed off, Andrea. And the funny part about the Andrea character is Andrea character lived until the end of the Walking Dead series. She was there to the end.
She's the one that, as soon as she came on the show, Michonne turned into like a nanny for her or something.
Yeah, yeah. And she was way too annoying. Like that actress who played her was so annoying that people wanted her to die, so they killed her off. But in the graphic novel, she was a sniper for them. She was a part of like the defense team for Rick. It was Michonne was his right hand man. Andrea was a sniper. She was always on the top of the, looking out for everything. And there was no Daryl.
See, I never read the graphic novel. I knew nothing about any of that.
Yeah.
And people were already watching that show for years before I checked it out. And when
Yeah.
I saw how Michonne came in, I was like, oh, she came in so raw. She came in so raw.
Mm-hmm.
And then, little by little, it just...
Yeah. Michonne and Rick were not involved with each other in the comic. But when it happened on the show, it made sense to me. On the show, it doesn't make sense in the comic, but the way that they portrayed that character and the both of them on the show, it kind of made sense that they would end up together. So it's like I'm not tied to the source material. Oh, here's another one for all of these source material niggas. What if the first X-Men came out and Wolverine wasn't in it? They would have lost their minds.
Mm-hmm.
But how about this?
They would have lost their
Wolverine
shit.
was not original X-Men. So if you're about comic book accuracy, Wolverine wouldn't have even been in the first X-Men.
I think a few of them wouldn't have been there.
Right.
Like, the original X-Men was almost a completely different lineup.
Exactly. Iceman was an original X-Men. He wasn't some kid.
Mm-hmm.
You had Beast, original. Cyclops, Jean Grey. Those were the originals. You would have, had they actually done it the way that it should have been done, then they would have not had to go through all of this, somersaults with the timeline. But why did they put Wolverine in? Because these guys would have lost their minds had they not put Wolverine in an X-Men movie.
You know, another gripe of mine is the Infinity War thing. You know how like you have like protect wrestlers where they're doing like a fight or a match. You want to protect them, so they throw them out of the ring so that way they don't get pinned and it doesn't like take away from their aura.
Yeah,
I
I
kind
get it.
of wish they did that with Hulk and just like did the whole remember like the Illuminati thing where they shipped him off to the other planet and then he just comes back with full vengeance. Like it would have
Well,
been like very. I just wanted that Hulk, man. I hate this
I
soil.
think we all wanted it. The problem though is not Marvel. The problem is Universal. See, this is like behind the scenes stuff.
Oh shit,
Universal
yeah.
won't let Marvel do a movie about like a solo Hulk movie because they own the rights. And they're not playing nice like Sony is. Sony's at least smart enough to know we don't know what the fuck we're doing with Spider-Man, so we could really use your help. And when Sony did that, what happened? I think Spider-Man No Way Home made like that might be like the third largest movie ever. Like that movie made a lot of freaking money.
Certainly,
That's
the
that's
Spider-Man.
that, that's crazy because like Planet Hulk and World War Hulk, right? Those comics sold a lot of units. I bought them.
Mm.
Like I rarely buy comics like that, but I happened to like buy that whole arc from like Planet Hulk to like a World War Hulk. So they should have like at least seen like, hey, this sells, and we could make a buku dollars with this.
If you really want to see, I think World War Hulk was inspired by Incredible Hulk number 300, where he just took on everybody. He was beating everybody's ass in that book. And I think they said, hey, people like this. World War Hulk was good. I like that whole story. Planet Hulk, World War Hulk. And Marvel, don't think that Marvel doesn't want to do it. The problem is Universal. Because they're fucking stupid. Do the same. What they should do is the same thing, the same deal that Sony did with Marvel, and make the movie. Allow them to use that character in any way they want to. Because you don't know what you're doing. The last time they tried to do something with it was that Eric Banner Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time they tried to do something with. So you're just holding on out of spite. They don't even want to make money. They would have like, well, we refuse to let y'all make a Hulk movie.
Just hate.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That wasn't the last one. The last one was the first one that they did.
2008 Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
That was the Edward Norton one.
Yeah, that was a Universal Hulk movie. I don't understand why they don't do that because Marvel was behind that movie. So all they have to do is just do another one, but they don't. For some reason, they don't want to do it. I think it has to do with they just want all the money.
And it is Marvel making those Hulk movies because Universal doesn't have the right to actually make a Hulk movie, only distribute it.
So that's what it is the distribution.
Yep.
So they don't want to give, they don't want to cut any deals. They don't want to play nice. My thing is, what are you doing, Universal, in terms of your movies? Are y'all killing it? You may have one franchise. Like I think they have. Don't they have Universal have the Mission Impossible franchise?
That's Paramount, right?
Is it? Is it Paramount or Universal?
It has to be Paramount because that's the Paramount is the one where like at the beginning they got the stars going around the mountain, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's Paramount.
Oh, okay. So what big franchise does Universal have?
The Bourne series.
If that's the case, that's sad.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Bourne series, but come on. When was the last Bourne movie made?
I mean, I don't think anybody even thinks of Universal when it comes to if we were just sitting around talking about big time film franchises, Universal probably wouldn't come up.
Right. So you would think that they would be begging for a Hulk movie to be made, especially like a Planet Hulk or World War Hulk. And I really believe that that's the reason why the Hulk has been treated the way that he has by Marvel. I think Marvel's trying to make it so that Universal never makes one.
I've been hoping that that's what they were doing, that was a strategy. But I also heard, I mean, it's just that they don't talk about this stuff. But it's been 17 years since the last Hulk movie. I heard like 2 years ago, 2023 in June, that the rights were supposed to revert back to Marvel because of like a stipulation that if you don't make any movies or do anything with the character for a certain amount of time, then you got to give it back. But
I was hearing that too, but I haven't really got any clarity on that. Like I've heard people say that the rights reverted back to Marvel, but then I keep hearing that Marvel can't do the solo movie. Well, if that's the case, the rights didn't revert back to Marvel. So I don't know exactly what's going on.
I'm hoping they're just keeping it a secret and they're actually making something. You know what I mean? Just to make it that bigger. But
that's possible.
Otherwise, I'll just say I don't even really blame Universal as much as I blame Marvel or Disney or whatever, because they have the rights to make Hulk TV shows if they wanted to. They could have been like how you see them building up the story of the character or whatever in this movie and that movie and so on. They could have went even further with some movie. With a TV show. And there's a way, you can do it to bring it all together in a team movie of some sort. Because I mean, World War Hulk is, even though it's his comic, it's a bunch of different, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of different heroes or whatever in that story. So you could still do that and just make it a team movie or whatever, but fill in the bits and pieces in a TV show. But they've chosen not to do it because I kind of feel like they don't really respect the character like that.
Who?
Marvel. The movie maker.
No, I think they do. I just think that it's certain writers. Like if you pick, that's why I hate the Russos. I think they're good directors on films like these because they've obviously delivered, but they have a bias. They have their favorite, and their favorite is Captain America. That's their favorite. So they always going to give Captain America more shine than they give the Hulk. As a matter of fact, the Hulk is so OP to them that they want to get rid of him for the story.
Sound like they don't respect the character.
Well, I know they don't. I know the Russos definitely don't, and the writers definitely don't. Whoever the guys who wrote, I saw the interview with them. I was infuriated after that interview because the person asked them, "Did the Hulk use did Thanos use the Power Stone against the Hulk?" And they was like, "Oh no, he didn't really have to." I'm like, "What? Are you insane? You trying to say that Thanos without the Power Stone is that much more powerful than the Hulk? Are you serious?" And I ask people, if you think Thanos is stronger than the Hulk, I want you to list Thanos' feats of strength compared to the Hulk in the comic. Good luck finding them. I don't see Thanos leveraging a billion tons of rock. I don't see Thanos doing that in no iteration of Thanos.
Yeah, it's no way he should be able to just grab onto his arms and just baby him like he did.
Come on. That's disrespectful, man. That's disrespectful. And they like, oh yeah, he didn't need the Power Stone. Because had he used, all you had to do was use the Power Stone. Use the Power Stone. Then I could, in my mind, I could justify that. But
And
without the
then
Power Stone, come on, no, sorry,
and
can't.
and then later they had old girl like do him the way he did Hulk,
Right.
Captain Marvel, and Hulk is in the comics way stronger than Captain
Yes,
Marvel.
exactly. It's not even close.
Like even in the Ultimate Universe, like like adamantium's supposed to be indestructible, but he took Wolverine and ripped him in half and tossed his legs like 2 miles, and Wolverine had to crawl 2 miles across a mountain to get his legs back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
The Hulk is not to be played with, man. Come on. And then you gave him such a good entry, like, no, not entry, but a good performance in the first Avengers.
Oh yeah,
And then you just kill that.
that's why I'm like you in thinking that I'm hoping it was a strategy that they were doing of like just totally burying him, so that Universal does what they're doing right now with him, which is nothing, and they can get the rights back to him. Even if they got to
Yeah.
buy it back, it'll be so, the character will be so destroyed that they'll be like, please take it back.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking it has more to do with what you're saying, just a lack of respect from the directors and the writers.
Yeah.
Like they had the Hulk in a fucking cast. I mean, what? Anybody that knows anything about the Hulk has had his skin burned down to the skeleton and he regenerates within 30 seconds. Now all of a sudden, he gets his arm hurt with the gauntlet, and now he's walking around with a cast on.
Hulk with a cast. You
Yeah.
understand how much that broke my heart.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, come on, man.
Hulk got boo boo.
Now these are what I call good faith critiques because we enjoyed the movie. We went to the movie, we saw both of them. We're not shitting on the movie. The movie was good. We're just pointing out our critiques.
On the first thing that y'all was talking about, right? With them just wanting the same thing every time or whatever. It makes sense to me for the people we talking about. Like you normally hear it said that they don't like diversity. How I like always said it was they like sameness. And I started saying it that way because back in like 2003 or something like that, I saw this documentary on the Discovery Channel called The Real Eve. And they were just talking about like, they basically like charting the course of humanity's rise in Africa and spreading throughout the world and so on and so forth. At one point in the documentary, they had this thing where they gave DNA tests to 20 white Americans and 20 African Americans. And for the African Americans, they said their test results, all of them came out looking different because just the diversity. And for the 20 white people, the results came out all looking the same. When I saw that, I was like, okay, so this sameness thing is like really like in the bone gristle for these people. Like they really just, that's how you know it's like it's not a race thing as they try to say. It's there's only one race. It's the human race. What it is a club. It's a club for them. It's an organization, and they only want to see certain people in that club who look just like them. They have to be exactly the same way. And then anybody else, they're exclusive. That's the other point that you were talking about. How you don't understand why they wouldn't want other people to watch it and like it and so on and so forth. Just that exclusivity thing with them, and they want to just keep it all the same. I'd say whatever movie you like by Marvel, just keep watching that one. Don't watch no more.
Right. There's people. Why would you, as a Marvel fan, that's why I put fans in quotes, want the Fantastic Four to fail?
Right.
Are you serious? We've had all of these other studios handling the Fantastic Four. The Marvel has never handled them until now. So why would you want them to fail? So you don't want to see Secret Wars? It just seems strange to me. Like I was in the well, before I make this point, I want to go back to the point that you was making about this sameness. I made the observation before that black people are xenophiles and white people are xenophobes. So it makes for a very interesting relationship.
Say that again, because it kind of went out for me.
Black people are xenophiles. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you.
White people are xenophobes. And if
When you
nobody
say
knows what
when
that
you
means,
when you say
let me explain.
xenophiles, go ahead.
Yeah, let me explain what that means. A xenophile loves everything that don't look like them.
Exactly, got it. Yep.
And a xenophobe hates anything that don't look like them. So, so that's the relationship between blacks and whites. Is really funny to me. But to get to my next point, when I was watching Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and I remember this because I was in the theater, right? And that movie was, even though it made $1 billion, there's still people that say that it wasn't good and blah 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 blah. They had a problem with it. While I was watching that movie, the only thing going through my mind was I'm watching a Doctor Strange movie on the big screen. That's the only thing that was going through my mind. It's like I'm actually watching Doctor Strange on the screen. Me and my cousin used to talk about Doctor Strange in the comics all the time, about how we would love to see that on the big screen. So to see it actually happen, that was a big deal for me.
I totally get that. It's the same thing for me, and I'm like holding on to that because I grew up. They had some stuff when we were growing up that came out like on TV, little TV movies and stuff, and man. If you
we accepted it because that's all there was.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I
like
think.
I love
Go ahead, Joe.
Incredible Hulk TV show, but
Yeah, I did too.
Some of the other stuff was bit lackluster. So seeing this stuff nowadays, oh man.
You wanted to say something, Emergent?
I think it comes with the level of maturity, right? And this is what I mean. When I watch any movie now, I notice screenplay. I notice cinematography, but more importantly, I notice writing. When the writing is bad, I legit can't get into the movie. I don't care who the actor is and everything else. If it's bad writing, similarly, when it's great writing, I find myself all the way into it. Like, why is this shit so good? I'm like, oh, it's really good writing. You could hear if you have a smidget of intelligence, you can really hear and notice when it's really good writing in a film. You just do. And when it's bad writing and bad acting, that's when I'm like, what am I doing? So now this is coming from somebody like I didn't grow up too much into comics and stuff like that. So I always am coming from a place of either it's I understand the prequels, I just know it from all the movies. But in terms of the comics, I'm never coming in like, no, that was a different villain, and they didn't wear a green jacket; it was a gray jacket. I'm never coming in like that. So I get the privilege of not having to be disappointed. Now, on the flip side, if it's something if it's somebody who's some of my favorite people, let's just say Bruce Lee. They make a new Bruce Lee movie every 2 or 3 years. I don't watch any of them because I don't want to be disappointed. And who is this dude who's nothing like Bruce, who's nothing like? So I'm not gonna go and watch Look at the Dragon again for the 13th time movie, unless it's something where it's wait a minute, this one looks good. This is a good director. This writing is gonna be good. I'm interested in this story. I know this isn't Bruce Lee, man. I know this isn't going to be exactly accurate, but I'm going to watch it because I'm interested in it. So I think it takes a level of maturity. If I read this book and I know this book is amazing and I know that movies are never like the books, I might not go see the movie unless I already have my guards down. I'm just here for entertainment purposes, not to be a producer / director / critic. So I think people just got to come in with their big boy pants on and be like, this is what I'm going to watch. I'm watching it as a fan, not to critique it and bring it to YouTube and destroy the whole movement. But yeah, that's just
Yeah.
something that I keep on hearing as we talk, and I'm like, yeah, but where's the maturity in it? Like, we know what's going on, don't we? But we are talking about fans, fanatics.
Yeah, Jamoja. Like you talk about a dude that went to Seattle specifically to visit the grave of Bruce Lee. So you know
Exactly.
I'm a Bruce Lee fan. And when I saw Jason Lee play Bruce Lee, he captured the spirit of Bruce. He
Hmm.
didn't look exactly like him, but he captured the spirit and the essence of who Bruce was.
Absolutely.
And that's what people don't seem to understand. It's not about because when you try to make the person look too much on the nose, it's almost like you're doing an impression of them
Hmm.
rather than
And you
seeing the
could
character.
even get more sometimes, like the series. Since we're on the martial arts, the series, I think it was called Warrior. Wasn't it called Warrior on HBO? Where the dude come to Frisco from Hong Kong, like is I think it's called Warrior. It's like clearly a depiction of like kind of like Bruce Lee. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
that
it's like
was a show.
obvious.
That was a show
Go
he
ahead.
pitched. He was trying to pitch it.
It, exactly right. This show is effing incredible. You could
Yeah.
make up any kind of storyline that you want. You could make somebody be Ip Man. You can make the dude be Bruce Lee if you want to. This show was absolutely incredible. The writing is incredible. The fighting is incredible. You would be like a glutton for punishment to sit up there and go do all of your annals, all of your notes, and say, no, Bruce Lee didn't say this. Bruce Lee didn't want it to look like this. Bruce Lee would have did this. That'd be dumb. Just enjoy the film. Enjoy the action. Enjoy what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. Coming from a different perspective of like not being into comics that much, but definitely being into the characters and into the movies. Yeah, I just enjoy the movie, and when it's a bad movie, it's just a bad movie. It's not because of like
Yeah.
characters missing the storyline.
It's not the end of the world to see. I've seen a lot of bad movies. A lot of bad movies. It's not the end of the world. I remember we used to actually back in the days, we would make the most fun I've ever had in a movie theater was on 42nd Street where they used to show the old kung fu flicks, right?
Yeah.
So imagine a whole bunch of dudes from the neighborhood watching a movie, and then all of a sudden the sound goes out. So instead of getting mad and doing and acting like Karens, everybody like people in the theater took a character off the screen, and we just ad libbed the whole movie.
Because the real movie, the lips don't match the words anyway.
Right, right. We just ad libbed the characters of the movie. That shit was so hilarious.
And even with the fighting scenes, you could just start
Yep.
the same thing. So to put it in terms previously described, Marvel back in the 70s, 80s, and so on were pretty much biting and scraping skin during the blowjob. And that goes for all those companies that were trying to put out science fiction stuff. I mean, I grew up on Godzilla where it was clearly a dude in a rubber suit. Clearly.
Right.
The planes were hung up by little strings. You could see the strings holding up the planes. You could clearly see that it was just G.I. Joe action figures on the ground.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from. So,
and we were into it. Just like Star Trek. We didn't watch Star Trek because of the special effects.
Yeah. So for me to be complaining about the stuff they got now,
Do y'all remember the freaking James Bond movie? Since we talking about it, do y'all remember the James Bond movie special effects? The old school ones, though. Man, that shit had me cracking up. Whenever I see a clip today, when this fool's shooting a harpoon gun or something crazy, you can see somebody throwing a damn harpoon type. It's crazy. Movies was crazy back in the day. Special effects was ridiculous.
Yeah, man. It's about the thing is all of the critiques that we offer are good faith critiques. They are good faith critiques, and then they are bad faith critiques. Where you have people, because right now this is the age of rage bait. Everything's a fucking agenda. You have 99.9% male leads in Marvel films. They make one movie with a female lead, and now it's called the MCU. You know, get the fuck out of here. It's like these guys, people are not honest players. Like I'll give you an example of a good critique. I saw um what I considered a subpar movie, which was Ant-Man Quantum whatever that was called.
Quantumania.
Yeah. There's a character in that movie, MODOK,
Oh
who
my
they
god.
just made into a fucking punchline.
Oh my god.
That pissed me off. And it pissed me off because it's like, why do you like that's the one thing about certain Marvel movies that I don't like. I don't like this taking a character and turning them into a joke.
Like they did that in Iron Man to I
Yeah,
forget the guy's name, but
the Mandarin,
right.
which they had to, course correct when they did the Shang-Chi movie.
Hmm.
But it's always like you take a character who's an established character and they're only there for a punchline. That shit pisses me off when they do that because it's that too cute shit. That's what I didn't like about Iron Man 2. Iron Man 1 was a classic, perfect movie. Iron Man 2 comes along and they get cute. They start getting cute and feeling themselves. And that's when the movie sucks.
I have a point of contention against soy banter, right? You know how like the mood gets sour and you want to keep it sour, but for some reason they have an itch to just make a joke out of it to not have any tension. I hate that shit.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate Thor doing a split in that last joint.
Yeah, well, we won't even talk about that movie. Like what the hell? That's another example of Taika Waititi, who's actually a good director, being too cute.
Yeah.
Just got cute. And he's like, then everything is a joke. And it's like, come on, man.
And as an actor, you gotta sometimes draw the line. Like, yo, look, I might not be like some Shakespearean, theatrical actor like that, but I'm not doing no splits, and you ain't gonna make no kind of special effects showing me doing splits.
Yeah,
take your character seriously at least. Thor, I don't believe has ever done a split in the comics. Just stop.
that movie was a waste of time because at the end of the day, it was so disconnected from everything. It was a standalone that really was meaningless.
And gore too, the way that was done.
Yeah.
Like the reason why I was so happy at the end of Infinity War, like people started getting up and leaving at the end because they were like so disgusted that the bad guy won. I'm sitting there and just soaking it all in because I'm like, yeah. I was thinking you can't do this like how you did, like making Apocalypse a one movie type villain or whatever, and they did the same. I mean that's Fox, but they ended up doing the same thing with Gore. Gore the God Butcher is like a Thanos level type character.
Yeah.
You can't just do one movie about Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah. That's the problem. Like, and that's a good faith critique. Because we go to these movies to enjoy them. We don't go to the movies to critique them so that we can't. It's just like when I get a blowjob, I want the shit to be good. I'm not gonna go and say, "Yo, man, I'm gonna go catch this blowjob. I know it's gonna be trash." So then, what you going for? So that's the whole reason why I did this live stream. I was just getting tired of the bitching and the moaning and the complaining. It's like if you don't like Marvel, stop going to Marvel movies. It's that simple.
whatever Marvel movie show was the one that just blew your socks off, just keep watching that one then.
Yeah. Keep watching it. Or don't watch any movies at all. Get yourself that baby oil and that hot rag and go to town, dude. Plug that game in and go to town.
Big bro, I really want to encourage you to start doing more like random to your audience. I would say content like this for real, because they don't get this part of you a lot. Not in depth, because you got range, brother. And I think you and all of us benefit from you expressing your range, and you probably feel better too. Some different types of therapy. some MOU therapy. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
seriously though, I really do think you should do more of your life, just opening yourself up more. Like the AI one, I think was great. I think this one was really great. Like straight up, like it's something for everybody. You know, and
Yeah.
it's like actually you. Just like I said, I know I'm saying this during the stream, but it's actually you because people will look at you and think you just this angry black man or something. It's like no, this guy's actually a angry black man nerd. How about that? For real though,
Yeah.
people like need to know that because people really think that we're robots, that we just wake up with the Pan African flag and just our fists pumped up and stuff, right? It's like no, man, we like to chill too and watch movies
Yeah.
and use AI and learn and build and grow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ed,
We're, we're humans.
I saw
Oh shit.
Sinners. I saw Sinners yesterday.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, yeah, it was
What you
nice.
think?
It was nice. It was nice. I enjoyed it. And the end had me feeling funny, not in a bad way, just funny because it's just different.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that old boy that was the singer guy survived into his old age, and then you have dude come in. I thought, I thought the other Michael B killed him. He comes in. We know he's a vampire, but he's like, there's like some sentiment there still, even though we know that's not how they supposed to be.
That's still his cousin. Remember, that's still his cousin.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I liked it.
What's up, Tom? You got a
Yeah,
lot of background going on there.
yeah, it's my oxygen. Let me turn it off.
What do you guys think about? Because I've seen Sinners. Just because you brought it up, I've seen Sinners shoot like 3 times now. What do you guys think about the like ratings of it? The like, because it seems like there's like a range of like this is the best movie of all time, or this is like just the best movie I've seen in a while. Most people are saying that it's like one of the best movies that they've seen in a while at least. But it's like going from this is literally the best movie ever. Like no matter what genre you're talking about, this is just the best movie ever. Like what do you guys think about the ratings that people have been given, and what do y'all think?
Can,
If we can,
can, I,
big bro. It's just been
can I
something
say
I've been
something?
thinking about now, and I've seen it a few times.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Thomas. Yo, I think with Sinners, I think
Oh, I'm talking to Thomas. I was like, who the hell is this? Yo, what's up, man?
yeah, what's up? Yeah, so I think that with Sinners, because it's an original work, and I think kind of the mythology surrounding the production because of how groundbreaking Ryan Coogler has been as a creator in terms of his ability to have business acumen and his ability to seemingly, I want to say, people might think this is controversial, but I want to say that he surpassed Spike Lee already as far as black filmmakers go because he's able to put together work that has like strong messages without it like beating you over the head. Like, I mean, proverbially, it's like almost like well, I would say it's almost like a jump the shark moment for Spike Lee when he made School Days, and it's like, or was it Do the Right Thing? Said message, like
Yeah.
like that's literally what all his work seems like. It's like heavy-handed, whereas like with Ryan Coogler, he knows how to
Okay.
seamlessly put everything into his movies without it feeling like like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. So I think it's that. I think the fact that he's able to get ownership of his movie back for 25 years and the fact that he's set up generational wealth, I think it's a combination of what he's been able to do in Hollywood. I want to say he's got the most box office of any black creator, right? As far as like
Yeah.
directors goes.
Yeah.
And then he's getting ready to put Denzel in a Black Panther movie. So you know he's about to do another 1.2 billion off that. So I
Hmm.
just think it's a combination of factors. But kind of like what Homer said too, that I'm not as critical with movies because I view them as art, and so like there was I could think one movie when I went into the shit like the first 5 minutes of this is trash. Like you ever remember that movie? It's so bad you never remember. You ever seen this movie called Metro with Eddie Murphy?
I saw that. I don't
Yo,
remember nothing about it, but I
hey, yo,
saw it.
listen. I was with this chick, right, and I literally was like calling out the next like joke or pratfall that's gonna happen. He can ready to do this. It was that bad. It was like elite levels of bad, but kind of like what you said about the DC, I mean, the MCU and fandom. Like one thing I will say for like the DCU's attempt when they tried to insert Darkseid, that movie to me had more stakes in it because if you saw the Snyder cut, you feel like they fucked up. Like that movie, it felt like they really fucked up in that movie because that was supposed to be a trilogy. And when that shit, when they basically let the cube get put together, and that shit like exploded the fucking universe, you felt like, oh, they fucked up. Until of course the Flash did the bullshit and went back in time. But
I saw that malnourished dark side that they wanted to make a movie out of, and I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, he wasn't that. I mean, did he look like Darkseid at the very end when they showed when? I mean, it was kind of gangster when what's his name? The enforcer head came through and he just crushed it through his heel. That was kind of gangster. That was like some sinister shit. So like, you really
Brother
felt like
Thomas,
the stakes. Uh huh.
when I heard you say that Coogler probably have surpassed Spike Lee already, I think that was the one of the first times that I've like understood how when like old heads would be like, man, you didn't know nothing about Dr. J. Nam and Kareem Abdul Jabbar Nam. And mind you, like I've seen probably almost all the Spike Lee movies, especially the old ones. But I was a little boy then too still. However, when I think about like what Spike Lee was when Spike Lee was Ryan Coogler, man, like Ryan still got some shit to do, bro. Like, because I think about today, it's easier for a black man to come and make controversial movies. Do you understand the movie Spike Lee was making and when he was doing it? Like, now Spike was on a different level. Like, seriously though, Spike definitely is like an originator, a pioneer, a door opener. Like, even if I'm pretty sure Ryan Coogler have mentioned Spike Lee and like, yeah, no, Spike Lee is definitely an influence on me type. Like Ryan
Oh
is
yeah.
definitely, I think, a better
Oh, definitely.
creator. I think Ryan is definitely a better. I can't even say that because even Spike Lee shit was so creative for what it was. His messaging was just different. It definitely was more down your throat type. But that was the point of it, right? He wasn't making like superhero movies and stuff like. That's why Ryan is more for everybody. Ryan have everybody in the theater. Spike
Well,
didn't. Spike could
to be
have like,
honest,
you know what I'm saying?
to be
So
honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
he's supposed to be better than Spike Lee. That's what
yeah,
this is all about. You know what I'm
I think he's
saying?
a better
Yeah.
filmmaker, like all around filmmaker. Yeah, but when it comes to messaging and stuff like that, I think Spike was a slightly. I can't say more important. I wouldn't say that either. Really,
So
I
Spike
don't think
was
that you're wrong.
if there
Honestly,
wasn't for Spike, there would be no Ryan Coogler. I think he
Yeah.
even knows that.
and
Oh
I know
yeah.
you
I'm
But
sure.
wasn't
that's the
saying
way.
that wasn't
Yeah,
the case, Thomas.
that's the way it's supposed to go. Like you should expect, and I think, and Spike Lee has been praising this movie.
Of course, of
You
course.
know,
I
so
think I just wanted to. I think I just
yeah,
wanted to hear that said. I don't think
yeah.
Thomas is wrong. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to make sure that we understood because a lot of people forget that Spike Lee is more than just sitting at the side of the Knicks talking shit.
But
Nah.
Like for real.
I'll make this statement. We're talking about Spike Lee. He's better than most white directors. He's better than most directors. Period.
How about that? No, dude is bad.
That
Dude is
dude is like
bad.
almost like autistic with his direction.
Right. Right. He's really good. He is. He is.
Because when I saw Fruitvale Station, I was blown away by that movie, and I went in there with no expectations, and I actually didn't even want to see it. When I heard about Fruitvale Station, I was like, okay, do I really want to relive this trauma porn again? That's all I was thinking about. I was like, yeah, I don't. And I was like, that's what he told me that he was going to school, that he wanted to get porn. I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. What he said. And I
Probably
walked,
your voice
oh
probably
shit,
changed.
my
Okay.
voice is fucking up.
Nah, it's better now.
Okay, yeah, I walked out the theater like, who is that? Who did this? That's how impressed I was by that movie. So
I
when they
don't.
said that he was going to do Black Panther, I was like, oh yeah. That's what I want to see do Black Panther.
I say, you know me, I don't have the favorites thing, but the Sinners movie was excellent to me. And off the top of my head, I can't think of another movie, an original made movie that I really rank up there like that. That and I like the movie Us from a few years back too. But yeah, The Sinners was excellent, man. That was just excellent.
The only downside is I hear like they're trying to make a sequel, and it doesn't need a sequel.
No, it doesn't.
And they making a sequel without him.
It definitely doesn't need to be made then.
Yeah. Like why would you do that? Chima, yes, I love the Thunderbolts movie actually. I really enjoyed that movie.
Ain't seen that. I saw the Captain America a week back or so finally.
That was mid.
Yeah, that was.
Right.
It was
They shouldn't have let on to Red Hulk in the trailer.
Yeah. But I think that was one of those in between movies. Like there was a time when Feige was taken out of his role, and that's when they were just pumping out content with no oversight, no Q and quality control. And I think this movie suffered. And also, how are you going to do a Captain America movie without the Russos?
Exactly.
The Russos should have directed that movie. The fact that they didn't, I was like, what was the point?
I also hate how the thunderclap that they gave Red Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the only thunderclap we've seen of Hulk, and that's my man's move. That's his original move. The only thunderclap we've seen from the Green Hulk was back in 2008 to put out a little fire.
Right.
Red Hulk had a thunderclap that was like destroying buildings. Come on, man.
Yeah, they didn't doing the Hulk dirty, but I hope that they can figure out this Universal shit because they really screwing up. They making things really more difficult than it should be. But anyway, y'all, I am hungry, so I'm getting off of this thing so I can get something to eat because I'm starving right now.
Yo, hold up.
Yo,
have you still haven't been to that pizzeria or had any pizza from the one that's over in Carroll Gardens?
Not yet. Still haven't been there yet.
Yeah, they still say it's like you got to get there at 4:00 to get a table at 7.
Yeah. That's probably the reason why I haven't been there.
Oh man, all right.
Because I'll take a Uber over there. I don't want to be waiting like 3 hours to eat. I'm like, come on.
It's got me. I'm having some FOMO about that shit because like it should have been like that for 10 years straight now.
Wow.
Sounds like New Yorkers really like pizza.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but imagine having a restaurant.
I'm lucky. I got like a few spots around my way. My way is known for slices.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't been to that one yet, but I want to try it out.
All right.
All right, y'all. It's been a pleasure. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I'll see y'all in the lounge.
Peace.
Yeah.